What's happening? Brian Tong here, and welcome to the Apple Bite for all the good and bad inside the world of Apple. There's a lot of products that we can expect to come out in the near future, so let's get to the show. Now, all of you waiting for new MacBook Airs might be waiting a little bit longer after Apple Insider's recent report says Apple is holding off on releasing new Mac hardware until OS X Lion is completed. Now, it's believed they want to launch the new hardware at the same time as Lion, which they've targeted for a July release with no specific date announced. Apple's ultra-thin laptops are expected to bring Sandy Bridge processors and Thunderbolt, so we'll keep you updated. Now, many of you Apple biters have also been asking about Final Cut Pro X that was demoed in April. Japanese blog Mako Takara reports Apple will be launching their flagship video editing suite next week, and a new batch of Thunderbolt-equipped accessories like hard drives will be released alongside of it. Now, there's still no signs of new Mac Pros that haven't seen a refresh since July of last year, and those are ripe for an update as well. But there are signs in the latest airport utility that includes references to a 4th generation time capsule and a 5th gen Airport Extreme discovered by Mac Rumors and 9to5Mac. Apple inventory at their stores have been tight over the past few weeks, and some expected an announcement at WWDC, so we'll keep you posted on that as well. Now, one thing that I do not believe is coming at all by the end of this year is all that silly chatter about an iPad 3. But there's more evidence if you dig deep inside of iOS 5 suggesting iPads of the future will sport a Retina display with a resolution of 2048 by 1536, double the current iPad's resolution. Now, found in the Twitter Frameworks part of iOS 5 and Apple's Newsstand app, there are images with the 2X designation as well, and a similar one was found in January for iBooks. Now, keeping with the theme of books, the back-to-school season is here, and Apple just announced one of their lamest back-to-school deals ever. When you buy a qualifying Mac with Apple's education pricing from now until September the 20th, you'll get a $100 gift card that can be used on the Mac App Store, the App Store, the iTunes Store, and the iBook Store. See, the past 3 years, you used to get an iPod Touch valued at $199, or you could use that credit towards the purchase of a larger one, but it's better than nothing. But this seriously has to be the worst back-to-school deal ever. Plus, Microsoft is promoting their own promo for students who buy a computer $699 and higher. They'll get a free Xbox 360. Which one would you rather have? All right, let's take a break to show you how to use the hidden keyboard features on an iPad with Mr. Donald Bell.
The iPad's built-in keyboard is one of the best we've used on a touchscreen device, but seemingly doesn't offer all the extra characters you'd have access to on a traditional computer. But with a few tips and tweaks, you can really push this keyboard to its limits. First up, check out the General Settings menu and select the Keyboard option. Here's where you can find access to the iPad's international keyboards and selectively enable features such as auto-correction, auto-capitalization, caps lock, and a shortcut that inserts a period anytime you press the spacebar twice. For the real hidden gems, press and hold any of the vowel letters on the keyboard, and you'll see options for all kinds of special characters. If you click over to the Numbers and Symbols keyboard, you'll find that many of the symbols also have press and hold options. In Safari, you'll also find that the .com button can be used to enter .net, .org, and .edu at the end of a URL. So there you go, some tips on using the iPad's keyboard. For CNET.com, I'm Donald Bell.
All right, thanks to the Donald for that one. Now, last week, WWDC brought a bunch of new features to iOS 5, but that doesn't mean they were all original. The jailbreak community has created apps and utilities that Apple wouldn't allow, like Greg Hughes, whose Wi-Fi Sync app would let you sync your iTunes collection over your own Wi-Fi network. Well, Apple rejected his app when Hughes submitted it, but guess what one of the new features in iOS 5 is? Syncing your iDevice over Wi-Fi. But the worst part of it, Apple not only used the same name from his app, calling their new feature Wi-Fi Sync, but they also deliberately ripped off the logo as well. So that's blatant and weak. So much for thinking different. We're giving you guys the bad apple. Now, for the international man of mystery business travel, Apple is also now selling an unlocked version of their iPhone 4. That means no contract, and you can pop in a SIM card with compatible carriers around the world.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Oh. Now, here in the US, it will work with T-Mobile, but only on their Edge network for data. And the magical price? $649 for the 16 gig or $749 for the 32 gig. Now also, if you ever wanted to know what the most common iPhone passcodes are, a developer included a passcode screen on his app that looked pretty similar to Apple's and assumed most people will type in the same passcode for their phone. He collected the data, and the number one passcode is 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by 0, 0, 0, 0, and 2580, which are the 4 numbers down the center. Now people, let's get a little more creative than that, really. 0000, that's pathetic. Now let's take a peek into what Apple is looking to do based on a new patent application. The Big A is attempting to use the iPhone location services and your personal interests to make new friends. Now instead of an awkward conversation that I've never had, Apple says interests can be determined by questionnaires, and you'll be able to find people in your area that share the same interests and introduce yourself through your iPhone. Now that girl in their mock-ups is either winking at me, has allergies, or just one eyeball, but how about you just go out to an area where people eat lunch and make friends like we do? Lamborghini, because he ain't good in the clutch. Oh my gosh.
Hey, you guys want to have a
so
seat?
funny.
It's lunchtime, man.
Are you serious?
Sit down. Yeah, I could get another one.
Let's get
you
out
guys
of here.
need it?
Hey, go deep, Mitchie, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe next time, guys.
Poor Ariel. All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. Send us your emails and questions to theapplebite@cnet.com. I'm Brian Tong. We'll answer some next week on our show, and we'll see you next time for another bite of the apple.